everybody. We're here with Haydeé of MexiconsArt.
Yes.
And we're excited to have her on our show and share a little bit about her side hustle. She doubles as a graphic designer for children's books, trying to spread the cultura through children's books. And so we're excited to hear her story and how she started her side hustle, where she sees it going, and how she's spreading culture through books.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you, thank you.
So if you don't mind just starting, telling us about your background, where you grew up, how you grew up, anybody who inspired you to just work as hard as you do.
Yeah, well, definitely I grew up in Tepic, Nayarit in Mexico. So I was born there, and when I was very young, my family and I moved to Tijuana. And I was there for a really long time, until I was like 25. So I was definitely, well, Mexico is a huge influence on me. I mean, and being in the border town of Tijuana is also like, I was in both worlds at the same time, like the Mexico-Americano, being a fronteriza girl, as they call it. But yeah, I definitely, as the being like a person that moved from one city to another, I saw in my parents that working hard was really important. And my dad was one of those people that he always had like several side hustles. So he is a doctor in TJ, but also he works in maquiladoras, he has like his consultorio. My mom used to be a nurse, that's why they met in the medical field, but she always did also many side hustles, like even having a cleaners, like a roach coach. Now it's called like a food truck, but in the 80s it was a roach coach. So yeah, I saw my parents and they always work hard.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't imagine. You're just around it, right? You're just around it all the time.
All the time, all the time. Like working hard, it was something that you just need to do and must do.
Yeah. And so did you guys move all together to San Diego, or was it just you wanted to leave and kind of explore your own thing, or how did you make that transition?
So when I made the transition is because I got married and I moved to San Diego. Like, I'm the only one that left the nest. Like, everybody in my family is still in Mexico.
Yeah.
Even my siblings, like, they live a few blocks away from my parents' house, but I'm the only one that moved literally to another country. You know?
And how did that happen? It just, you just wanted to, or did something happen, or?
Well, my husband, even though he was born in Mexico City, his mom is from the States. So they moved from the States to Mexico City, like off and on. So he wanted his next move to be in the States.
Oh, cool.
And when we got married, we moved here to San Diego.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So did you have to, I'm assuming you had to change your job moving, or change careers, or what was your...
So when I was in Tijuana, I studied graphic design, by the way. And before I moved, I worked as a graphic designer for a stage 4 alternative cancer clinic. It was really hard to work there.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It was really hard, but I learned a lot of things in there. So it was really interesting in working there. I learned a lot about the patients, and they taught me a lot of lessons. And but when I moved, I worked for them a little bit freelance afterwards. And then when I finally got my papers correct, I started to look for a job, but guess what? Nobody will hire me. Like nobody, because I didn't have like the correct credits for them because I study graphic design in Mexico. So they were like, what's this university? For
Wow.
them, it was sketchy.
Yeah.
So I have to take all the credits all over again. So that took about like 1 or 2 years. And then I started looking for.
Is that tough? Like, I mean, is that like,
Of course.
well, at least in the like your mindset,
It's,
like,
oh yeah, I mean, moving here from Tijuana, that you have all your friends, all your family, like knowing that you can have any job. It was easy for me to have any job. I've been working since was I 14, 16, and then come here to the States when I was 25, and nobody will hire you when you've been working your whole life, you're 10 years straight without a break. Of course, it's a blow to your ego,
Yeah.
you know, and you get depressed, you get stressed, you get sad, but I mean, you just need to do whatever you need to do to pick up the pieces and start all over again.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Where did you pull your motivation from to keep going and not stop after those obstacles?
Like hunger. I needed to pay bills. I needed to eat, you know?
Yeah.
So
actual hunger.
Actual hunger, you know? So I needed, because I didn't know anybody here in the States, only my husband, and that's it. I
Yeah.
didn't have any friends, any family, nothing, like nothing. So I had to start all over again. So yeah, I had to like go back to school, have some side jobs, do freelance work, whatever it took, you know. So I work in retail, so little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the turning point to, so you studied, you got done after 2 years.
Yes.
And then you ended up landing that graphic designing job that you wanted?
During those, not really, because during those years, me and my husband, he's always worked in the food industry because of his grandparents. So we had an opportunity to open a coffee shop. So we did that. So we work and own a coffee shop for almost 8 years. And that was like tremendous work too. I mean, the food industry is extremely demanding.
Yeah.
It's 24/7. So that helped me a lot with people skills, to resolve problems on the spot, to learn how to cook, because I didn't know how to cook. So to learn how to cook, how to manage budgets, how to manage people. And it was, I think that was the thing that really taught me the ropes to like keep pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. To do taxes. I mean, I never done taxes before.
Yeah.
Now trying doing taxes here in a foreign country with a lot of things that you don't even understand. So that was definitely a learning lesson.
And what resources did you read? Like, did you reach out to any resources, or did you find mentors, or is there anybody, or did you just kind of gut it out and really do the research and do the work and figure out all the business and tax and all that?
Yeah, I think my dad tried to help me, but it's very different, the system in Mexico than in the States. So, I mean, bless his heart, but no, it was very, very different, you know?
Yeah.
It was very old school, like do the books, like stuff like that. And no, I have to like learn everything. Like,
Yeah.
there's really good free courses here in San Diego that is called San Diego Continuing Education. If somebody's interested, you can get graphic design courses there, like cooking courses, taxes, like stuff like that. And at least it's a platform to help you a little bit, just to be more known with the mediums that you're working on. So that helped me a lot, like trying different courses, because I didn't know anybody here. So
Yeah.
that will help me a lot. reading, read, inform yourself, like read a ton, get that library card. I always recommend that. And yeah, buying books, reading, doing research, stuff like that.
Always try to get better.
Always try to get better. Yeah.
So what happened to the coffee shop?
We closed it. It was time. Like we wanted to do, because the food industry is extremely demanding. We hadn't had a vacation like in almost 10 years. So, and we needed a break. We needed a different pace in our life. So it was then when I started now looking for graphic design jobs.
Yeah.
So, but it was tough because I was, you can say, like 10 years behind. I haven't been in the industry in 10 years.
Yeah.
So it was tough.
So did you know what type of work you wanted to do in graphic design at that point?
Yes, I always loved print. I know that a lot of the new young kids do like websites, animations, stuff like that, stop motion. But I really love print, and I always want to do something related with print. So one job that it wasn't graphic design, but it was retail, and I worked in a candle shop for 2 years, and this lady, Amy, she was so knowledgeable. She was doing a lot of stuff that before social media. So she tried a lot of stuff with Constant Contact. It's like a platform like MailChimp, stuff like that, but from the early 2000s. So she did a lot of stuff like that. So she will tell me how to use different platforms that they're going to be like the future. So she helped me a lot, how to work with retail, how to prepare stuff, how to ship stuff, how to value, how to make like the prices. So she helped me a lot with that. And after I didn't left with her, she closed the shop. And it was a bummer because I love working there. I still miss working there with her. But I mean, an opportunity arose to her, so it was silly for her not to take it. So I totally understand that. We're still in touch. But yeah, she helped me a lot, just to learn about more of the numbers side of the business than anything else.
So did you start creating the art pieces or while you were looking for a graphic design job? Did the graphic design job come first, or how does that?
So the pieces of Mexicans started in college in 2002. So that was my college thesis. So that's how it started, Mexicans, as a college project. So I wanted to do, because we live in the border town of Tijuana, sometimes kids put more emphasis on importance to icons from the States, and like Madonna, Michael Jackson, stuff like that at that time. That, yes, they have value, but we also have amazing icons here in Mexico, like Diego Rivera, Cantinflas, El Santo, Frida Kahlo. So I wanted to make a didactic book for kids in kindergarten to know their icons. So that's how Mexicans started, as a college thesis.
And then you just kept it going because...
No.
You stopped?
I stopped. After college, I stopped. My life took so many turns. Yeah. So I left that behind. And then around 2014, Alexia from ConscientArt Alexia had like Frida Kahlo art exhibition. So she invited me to have a portrait of Frida. And so I did one of those little mini portraits, and it sold. And then I started thinking maybe I should start doing this again. Yeah. So I already had a full-time job as a graphic designer for a restaurant franchise, And I loved the work. The people, they were questionable, but I did love the work. And during my weekends, I started developing more and more Mexicans. So I started from like a little art portrait. Then I did finish to develop the icons for a full coloring book. And then slowly but surely started making more and more little pieces.
And you distribute them online, just e-commerce, or?
I do Etsy, of course, e-commerce, but I sell in pop-ups, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have some pieces on wholesale for museums, like in LA, like Mola, Horchateria Rio Luna, like stuff like that.
Awesome. How do you balance this and your full-time graphic design job?
It's very difficult. So first and foremost, I have like a commitment with my current job, so that comes first in regards of work. So that my commitment with this children's book imprint comes first, and then Mexicans. And it's just hard. I just need to pick and choose what's worth it, what's not. I have made a lot of mistakes, like thinking that a show is gonna go well, but it comes with the territory, you know. So you learn a lot of things. You learn how to say no to certain events and say yes to certain events, but it's a balance. Sometimes I know that from September to December is gonna be crazy and nonstop with Mexicans. But I know that in my other job, from March to June is gonna be crazy. So I try to balance, like maybe I don't do a lot of events during those days, during those months, because I have to focus on my full-time job. And then when I do my Mexicans, I just try to take it easy on my other job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you make it work for yourself.
I have to make it work. Yeah. Yes.
Let's talk about your other job.
Okay.
Because I know that's where a lot of your passion is right now. Right?
Yes.
So talk about what you do, and then kind of how you got there, and really the impact that you're trying to create doing that.
So getting this job was not easy, because you can say it was my second graphic design job that I ever had here in the States. So just to get this job, I think I applied, I would say around 200 jobs.
Wow.
Just to have this one job. And it was so stressful just to apply for a year and a half and nobody to call you. So I think out of those 200 jobs, I only have like 5 interviews. So, and this one is funny because I already had another job, and when this one called, I've been working on my other job for 5 days. And when this one called, like the children's book, I know that I can make something out of here. So I quit my other job to work in the current job.
Wow.
So it was worth it.
Took a risk.
I took a risk. You have to take a risk. Yeah.
How did you keep going? Why didn't you? After 200, that's
well, it
a lot of no's.
It was very nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
People don't want to hire me. Like, I know that there's a lot that I can offer. I'm a hard worker, I'm an honest worker, and nobody will see that. They will just see my last name or the university that I came from, and there will be a question mark instead of seeing my working skills.
Yeah.
So it was definitely it was really hard, but you have to push, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it only takes one person to take a chance on you, and you just gotta take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make it work.
That's awesome. No, I think a lot of people would kind of take the alternative path, right, and give up. So I think that it's inspiring to hear somebody where they have the mindset of like, somebody's going to say yes. Right?
Yes,
at some point, somebody's going to say yes.
And I'm one of those people that to get a job, I will annoy that person. Like I will call, I will send emails, I will send letters, I will send care packages, I will send anything just to notice, for them to notice that I'm really interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you start from, you know, everybody starts at level 0 and you're not even, you're at like -2 and that's how much harder you have to work to just, you know, get to where everybody started.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it was definitely a crazy ride just to get there, but so far it's so good.
Yeah, so now it's children's books.
Yes.
It's doing it's not digital, it's actual hard copy print.
Yes.
And so it has everything that you wanted to do, right?
Yes. I always love first of all books. Books are always been huge in my life. And working on print is one of those things that I always love. So this was a great opportunity. It was, I'm still learning. I used to work in newspapers, magazines, stuff like that, but doing children's books is a different animal because we do a lot of children's books with a lot of mechanics in it, like lift the flaps or pull a tab or spin a wheel or adding music. So there's a lot of math in it. So I never thought there was a lot of math in it, but good thing I'm good with math. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been definitely a learning experience, and I have learned a lot, and I have a great boss that helps a lot too. So yeah.
And where do you see, I guess, that this path taking you? I know you're very passionate about spreading culture.
Yes.
And if you want to talk a little bit about your passion for that and how you want to do that.
Yes. Well, definitely I want to push culture in the books that I'm doing right now. Like we do a lot of books that I love and for brands that I love, but I want to create more original content. And with that comes pushing more culture, and not only my culture like in Mexico, but other cultures like from Africa, China. I mean, there's a huge community in Baja from the Chinese. So I would love to have like a bilingual book that is Spanish to Chinese. I think that will be huge. Or here in San Diego, there's a big Portuguese, Brazilian, and Italian community. Maybe a book about Portuguese to English, like stuff like that. I want to push more bilingual books as a whole. Yeah.
And why is that important to you?
I think it's because it's something that I grew up, because I was in the frontera. You always knew 2 languages, and I think it's important for people to learn more than just one language. So for me, language and communication is extremely important. I mean, we need to learn how to communicate with each other better, and if we teach that from an early stage to our kids, I think it will be great. Even also, there's a lot of like Japanese, culture here too. So maybe we should focus more on that. Not only everything has to be in English.
Yeah, and it's also that thing that, right, you don't want to, like if somebody's born here, and like in my example, right, like I was born here, my mom's Guatemalan, and she was so busy that we didn't do a lot of the stuff. She wasn't able to teach me a lot of the cultural things, right? And it's about not losing, or at least educating the kid on their culture, and seeing, oh, this person looks like me, right?
Exactly.
Like this person is me, or these are my roots.
Yeah, right? And also it's like I understand parents sometimes that they don't want to teach their kids like from their roots, because they don't want to feel that discrimination. But I think it's, at the end of the day, it's important for everybody. And now the minorities are the majority, so we need to embrace it and support each other. Definitely.
No, I definitely love your passion for that. So looking at maybe, I know you don't like to look too far in the future, but maybe in the next couple years, how do you see everything coming together with Mexicons and what you're doing with graphic design? How do you see everything?
Well, Mexicans, I want it to be a little bit more stable. I know that right now it's like up and down, but definitely a little more stable, maybe having more wholesale items for people to find them in. For me, it's really important to find them in museums more than like a regular retail store. Like maybe do that. And for the children's books, I just want to push like bilingual departments, like really push hard to have in any imprint to have bilingual departments and have teams that reflects like the current state of what we're living. That we have people from Mexico, we have people from Guatemala, we have people from China, Africa, stuff like that. I just wanted that to be more prominent.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I see your vision. So
I'm pushing.
That's awesome.
And sometimes they're annoyed at me because in every meeting we have, they're like, we know more bilingual books, but you have to push them. You have to push them.
And I guess it comes out, right? Like you're the person that is gonna keep pushing.
I have to keep pushing. Until
you're gonna ask them 200 times and they're gonna say yes.
Until they say yes. Yes.
That's awesome. Sometimes, I mean, you know, a lot of people, I think that's good advice, right? Like you got to be stubborn sometimes when you believe in something. You know, just believe it in enough to convince the other person, right? What are a few pieces of advice that you would give people maybe going through some of the stuff mentally, you know, finding out that they got denied from a job or having to start over or you know, anything like that? What type of advice would you give people in those situations?
I'll say one that is my favorite is what other people say about you is none of your business. You know? So just keep doing your thing, find your center, find what's right for you. And the other one is take care of yourself. And not only and not mentally, but also physically. And like be very conscious of the activities that you do, the people you hang around with, what you're eating, stuff like that, and do like stuff that you enjoy. Maybe it's going to swimming classes or taking a Zumba class or salsa dancing. Just be active, but really take care of you. Because
you're the most important piece of this all, right?
I mean, to be honest, health is everything. Like if you don't have health, you don't have a job. If you don't have job, you don't have money. If you don't have money, you don't have a home. I mean, everything is like domino effect. So you have to be healthy.
For you, what is that? Because I know you told, before we started the interview, you told me a story of, you know, there's a deadline and everybody's frantic and you're there just kind of zen and and you have your center and you keep calm. How do you do that?
Well, it took me a long time to be, I'm almost 40, so it took me a while to figure that out. But just be mindful and aware that some things are not worth it. I mean, deadlines are always going to be there. Errands are going to be always there. So it's better to do them calmly and collective and cool than being with this frantic energy. Like I know that a lot of people get caught up in the, I have to post every day, like do an IG story, I have to do this, I got to do every pop-up. But you have to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
You know,
I always go crazy.
Either way, you're gonna go crazy. Like for me, it's like I know that a lot of people get caught up in the many followers or likes or whatever in IG, but I always say like that is like being rich on Monopoly, you know, in a Monopoly game. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't matter. What it matters is your health, your mental state, your happiness, your family or your loved ones. I mean, whatever family that you choose to have. So that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for taking the time to share with us all, and we're excited to share with the rest of our audience.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on, and
No.
so great to talk to you again.
Muchas gracias, Haydeé.
Thank you.
Un placer.